Bingo. Perfect. Alright, so now I'm going to full screen this. Beautiful. Alright, so Alan may join us, but there's two of us playing. I'm doing the healer, Adina and Capac, and you are controlling the twins.
Oh yeah.
So we start with some introduction about the city of vampires, Tar Pit. Through cunning and stealth, the party finally arrived inside the walls of Tar Pit. Deep within the city lies the keep that once housed the royal family, before their slaughter at the hands of the Vampire High Council. In the lowest levels of the keep is the royal vault, and within that vault rests an artifact that may help end the storm. The party sought a brief respite at the twins' estate, a safe house of sorts, in a city filled with bloodthirsty villains and countless perils. The home of the vampire twins is a house divided, not by animosity, but taste. Each room decorated by Aleksander sports ornate furniture and fine silk curtains, while Aleksandra prefers blood-stained walls and piled skulls. The party gathered at Aleksander's study, served, gosh, why do I always... hors d'oeuvres. Finally, I can pronounce
it.
Hors d'oeuvres, yeah! Just the way it's spelled. It's just like, what is that? Yeah, hors d'oeuvres. By his human thralls, and resting their weary bones by a roaring fire. The council meets at the keep often. It is heavily guarded, Aleksander said, pouring himself a glass of blood from a pitcher. You could always keep your appointment, Vanessa. Adina rolled her eyes in frustration. The vampire's mutual feud with Vanessa was becoming tiresome. Do you have any real suggestions, Aleksander? Who said it wasn't a real suggestion? Accessing the vault would be a mere formality once we're inside, and I can think of no quicker way to enter the keep. And no quicker way for me to be executed, Vanessa said flatly. A bonus, to be sure. Blood? Aleksander mockingly offered the pitcher to Vanessa, but it was quickly snatched by Aleksandra, who began drinking its crimson contents without even pretending to first search for a glass. What about Daver? He works in the keep, she said, after finally finishing the pitcher. She then casually dropped it and took a seat near her brother. The closest thrall, a woman of no more than 20, robotically knelt next to the pitcher and began cleaning the small drops of blood spilled on the polished wooden floor. Aleksander slammed his glass down dramatically on the armrest of his chair, spilling more blood for his thralls to clean. Daver, I'd rather take a bath in holy water than owe that imbecile a favor. Who is Daver? Adina asked distractedly. Her attention was split between the conversation and sorrowfully watching Aleksander's thrall clean up after him and his sister. The priest had already made so many compromises to get here. What would she become by her journey's end? Would Yedra forgive her? Could she forgive herself? Aleksander tossed his glass into the fireplace, shattering it. He's an advisor to the council, the most important advisor if you ask him, and the least important if you ask anyone else. What power he does possess, he has gained by exchanging favors with all manner of riffraff. So, people like us, then, said Vanessa. Charming. I suppose I could arrange an introduction. His manor is not far from here. Be prepared to be sent on a ridiculous errand in exchange for his aid, however. So to summarize all of that, you're inside the city of Tar Pit looking for a magical plot device to help end the storm. It's in the Vampire High Council's vault. Good luck with that. Hanging out at the Patra twins' house, they know a guy, Daver, who works for the council. Adina gets all moody about the Patra thralls because they're basically slaves with no free will, no hope, or, oh, I get it now. And then we find ourselves in House Patra, where we are faced with all kinds of potential decisions we could make, none of which we can make during the demo. So we are forced with Daver's Manor, where Aleksander and Vanessa is required. So currently we're not rolling Vanessa, but we'll pretend she's with us right now.
Okay.
And so we go to Daver's Manor on page 6.
I love the word thunder bits.
Yeah, they're really cheeky. And I'll try to put the text in the camera here a little bit so you can even zoom in perhaps and see that. I think Kelpie joined us, or Alan. Yeah, I'm going to drag his camera off to the side. Not that it's on, but just so it's out of the way. Alright. So Davers Manor. The party followed Aleksander to Davers Manor, an impressive home distinct from its neighbors, firmly placing its construction after the vampires invaded Tarpit. Every brick, window frame, and door shined from a fresh coat of pale gold paint, giving the house a garish feel that was likely not intentional. Davers' private security greeted the party at the door and ushered them to the back of the house. The long hallway leading to Davers' private office was packed with relics, antiques, and artifacts from around the world, more than a few of which Vanessa was sure were fake. The guards did not enter the office with the party, but could be heard milling about just outside the door. Davers stood from behind his desk, an extravagant oak monstrosity with intricate designs carved over much of its surface. Vanessa immediately recognized the telltale swirls of rune magic, the same sort that covered a large part of her face. What's more, she had seen the desk before. It once resided in the lobby of the guild house of the Nair. The thought of a vampire resting his feet upon it immediately filled Vanessa with seething rage. Davers stepped forward from behind the desk to shake Aleksander's hand, his own sparkling from an absurd number of jeweled rings. Ah, Aleksander, what a wonderful night for a visit from good friends. Alan, I don't know if you can hear all this clear, but I think we're getting some feedback from your mic. I wasn't aware you had friends, Daver, Aleksander said slyly. Are you still in here, Steve?
I sure am.
Okay, good. I think Alan popped out. He shook Davers' hand and then made a quick but obvious glance at Vanessa. A simple trick to entice Daver to do the same. Daver took the bait, sizing up the party before focusing on Vanessa. Still keeping unusual thralls, I see. Wait a moment. That eye patch. Daver physically recoiled, backing into his desk and knocking a few quills and a strange idol made from bone to the floor. Aleksander, is that Vanessa von Bront? Easy, Daver. I decided to take a page out of your book and keep my mind open to mixed company, Aleksander said, winking. Daver retreated back to behind his desk, never looking away from Vanessa. I've never worked with a bloody Nair. What on earth could you possibly hope to? We need to gain access to the old royal vault, Aleksander picked up the bone idol and placed it back on Daver's desk as he spoke. Now look at me, and then look at my companions. I know the gears are already turning in that small mind of yours. Go ahead and ask for your favor. Daver fell back into his chair. I couldn't possibly. Any favor. Feel free to think big. Yes. I could think of a task or two. Proper reimbursement for the danger this whole affair puts me in. Vanessa's anger had not subsided, and the longer Daver sat at his desk, the more she felt that damning the world would be worth it if she could just put her hands around his throat. She grabbed Aleksander's shoulder and pulled him back hard to face her. Can I just kill him? So, the party walks to Davers Manor. He's as fancy as a cheap suit and super scared of Vanessa. Vanessa hates him because of a table or something and wants to kill him. Is Aleksander game? And we can vote to kill Daver, or we can continue.
I'll vote no.
All right. Very unlike the twins. And so we will continue, because that definitely aligns with our altruistic Adina. So we will go to the next page. Aleksander smiled, but continued speaking with Daver. Incredible danger, he said, sarcastically. Daver, who was becoming increasingly agitated, suddenly stood up. Gregor! He blurted out, before falling back onto his chair, slumped low and visibly exhausted. Aleksander raised one eyebrow. Lord Gregor? Yes. I heard he has a special guest in the dungeon underneath his estate. Top secret. Illegal, in fact. He wouldn't even be able to tell anyone he was robbed. Daver licked his lips, baring his fangs for a moment in a sinister smile. I would very much like to feed on that guest. Guess not. Daver has a hankering for some dude in Lord Gregor's basement. Is Adina present? Yes, she is. So, we would then go to page 9. Paragraph 3. Adina stepped forward, scowling at Aleksander. I am not comfortable with kidnapping. Liberating, Aleksander said sweetly, holding his arms open slightly as if he had any hope of convincing the priest. It's reprehensible. Aleksander lowered his head a little and rubbed his forehead in irritation. What my devout companion means to say is she would prefer a different option, perhaps something a little more altruistic. Daver wrinkled his brow in confusion. What does altruistic mean? Never mind. Is there any other task you'd like performed in case Lord Gregor's special guest has a prior engagement? Daver contemplated for a moment. Well, there are the catacombs, he said, with little enthusiasm. I've heard the council speak of problems below the city. Guards go in, no one comes out. I could earn some pull with the city guard if I sorted that mess out. A monster hunt! Splendid, Aleksander said, yes. turning to give an irritated look to Adina. Is that more to your liking? Adina nodded. Satisfied, Aleksander bowed mockingly to Daver with his right arm across his chest. Then we have our agreement. We'll perform one of these tasks for you. In exchange, you will sneak us into the royal vault. Aleksander turned to leave, gesturing for the rest of the party to do the same. He raised a hand in farewell, but did not look at Daver again. It's been a pleasure as always, Daver, he said sarcastically. Daver leaned forward in his chair and yelled after Aleksander. I'd prefer the special guest. We'll consider it carefully, Aleksander said, as he closed the door behind him. Ta-ta. So, Adina puts the kibosh in the whole kidnap a prisoner to trade for magic stuff idea. Daver offers a explore the catacombs quest as a welcomed alternative. So we earned the altruistic title and go to page 12. Where we are back at House Patra. And we've already done Daver's Manor, so the only thing open to us that is now unlocked is the catacombs where Capac and Adina are required. And I am playing them, so we're good. And you have the twins.
Beautiful.
So we go to page 14. Where we reach the entrance to the catacombs. The entrance to the catacombs is adjacent to the ruins of the old cathedral, a fair hike from the twins' home. The party left the Patra house at first light, making their way carefully through the city by keeping to the many side streets and alleyways that make up Tarpit's residential district. Though vampires no longer fear the sun, many still sleep during the day, making travel in daylight quicker, but more dangerous. It's difficult to be lost in the crowd if the only ones awake are you and the city guard. So the party walks to the catacombs, and it's dangerous. Who would have thought? And so it triggers us to roll on the Tar Pit event table. It's just an event table for the city while you're there.
Sweet.
Which would lead to maybe running into a merchant or some street thugs or who knows what, and we would have to deal with that. But that's not available in the demo. So then it asks, is Aleksander in attendance? And he is. So then we go to Q1. So, when the party reached the catacombs, they saw the entrance was blocked by a small group of city guards. The guards put their hands to their weapons, and a female vampire in crimson armor stepped forward to further block the party's path. What business do you have here? She demanded with authority. Aleksander broke from the party to greet the guard captain. Good evening, esteemed constables. I am Aleksander Patra. My companions and I have been enlisted by the High Council to rid you of your little catacomb problem. Aleksander lies to the guards. He's good at that. So this test has 1+ difficulty for every 5 points of Tar Pit turmoil the party has earned. Right now we don't have any of that, and it wouldn't apply anyways in the demo. So I have to do a charisma skill check for Aleksander. So I go to, or you do.
Yeah.
So you go to Aleksander, and he has a charisma of 11.
Pretty high.
However, if you look at Savvy on his card,
he can re-roll if he fails.
If he fails a charisma test, yes, he can make an additional attack. So you need to roll 9 or better. So if you click on the dice on the top left of the screen, and then hit add d6, and then hit done, you'll be back on the camera screen. And from there, you can hit the plus sign twice to get 2d6.
Yeah.
And then you can hit roll all. And that is an 8. Oh, so close. That's 19. So we're going to have to use his Savvy to re-roll.
All right, here we go.
No!
Even worse.
So we continue because we failed. So the guard captain drew her weapons, her squad quickly doing the same. If they work for the council, I'm Lord of the Nair. Attack! Aleksander drew his own sword with a look of loathing on his face. The Nair have an unerring sense of direction. Care to find your way to hell, or shall I help you? The guards attack. Doesn't Aleksander get to roll charisma tests twice? ?
You're fun. I'll get Robert shit for that next time I talk to him.
Just double checking, do any of his equipment allow him to increase his charisma? No. I don't think so. Nah. Alright, yeah, we're shit out of luck. It looks like we are in this fight.
I didn't tell you about this before we got into all of this, but my dice rolls are cursed.
I've heard that many a time before. It seems like everyone believes their dice roll is cursed.
Except for when it's not.
Alright. So I'm going to set up this encounter, which will take but a moment.
I think one thing that I like about this is that the encounters tend to only be 1 or 2 tiles at a time.
Yeah, they're not too bad. The one we did last week was
3, right?
That was 4 tiles, actually.
I watched part of it. I saw a couple of big, long hallways.
Now, I don't remember if I have the tiles for this encounter or not. I think I do. T1, and I presume T2. Okay. Yeah, I don't exactly have the right matching ones, but it really doesn't matter. So, I'm going to use these two. Yes. Perfect. Plenty of room for dice and all of that down here. said Alexandra. So I'm just going to go ahead and put Adina in the back. And Alexandra in the back, and she has lots of movement. Alexandra up front with Capac. And then the target. Guards. 4 of those. So, we did this fight last week, and it wasn't awful because Alexandra was in the party, but Alexander wasn't. Did you see that by chance?
I didn't know.
Would you like me to tell you why it was different?
Yes.
Okay, so she has a Harley Quinn moment when she's trying to negotiate with Guard Captain Sever, and she does not lie very good, so she just gets frustrated and ends up ripping her head off.
That's right. Maybe I did see that.
Yeah, so that happens. Where is Sever? I think this is Sever. Yeah. Guard Captain Sever, and then 3 Inquisitors. And then ruined columns times 4. Improvised barricades times 2. Nakati urns times 2. Weapon rack and armor rack. Armor rack here. Weapon rack is there. Urns are both here. Columns are 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And the Inquisitors. So that is the setup of the board, and I will get closer as well. I'm just going to finish putting on the leaders. Okay, so that's that. Victory objectives are to slay all enemies. If Guard Captain Sever is the last enemy alive, she escapes. And I don't know if that has downstream effects or not in the real campaign, whether she survives or not, but it may.
Yeah.
And then 2 of each hero, 5 standard cards, 2 advanced cards. Okay. So put that off to the side, and I'm just going to zoom in now so that we get a better. how's that?
Looks good. I can see everything pretty well.
Alright, and then I'm just going to drag this back. It's not on the cards. I'm just going to lock it so it stays there. Perfect. Okay. And then let me just build the deck. So, this scenario, you can probably, I'll show the card, or the paper here. You'll see that the turn order is built out already.
Interesting.
With all the icons. And so I'm just going to mimic that on top of the camera view on the screen.
Okay.
So, guard captain Sever, and then one of us. I'll just put Aleksander first for now. And then guardsmen's 1 and 2. And then one of us. Capac. And then the 3 inquisitors. So 2. And one of us.
One of us.
And then the last 2 guardsmen. And then Adina last. Okay. And the rest of these I will move off to the side. These 2 I will delete. And then up here we have so it's a 2 of each, so I can get rid of Vanessa and Winter. And I'm going to duplicate, so add to deck. Basic target deck, 5 cards, so 1, 2, 3. I hope they add a function where you can say draw to table and then you specify how many cards you need, and you just like type it in.
That would be nice.
That would be.
Do they have a feedback forum?
They do, yes.
Oh yeah, beta feedback.
Okay, and then 2 advanced cards. 1. Remove from deck. Add to deck. And 1 more. So those can go off to the side. Alright, so here's our target deck. Here is our turn order. And everything else is ready. I'm going to move these up top so they're out of the way of us being able to play our cards. And that's it. So you can take one last glance at the turn order, and you can tell me if you want me to rearrange where your heroes are on the map right now. You can also ask me to rearrange where our heroes are in the turn order right now. I'm just kind of letting you run the show.
Okay. I think we're good. We're in a good spot. Actually, let's switch Aleksander with his sister there.
Okay. Now she's up front.
Yeah.
All right. So what you can do is, if you see the green decks next to your player board,
Yes.
you can just say right-click, draw to table, and it's going to pop up below, and then you can just drag that flipped card over to the right a little bit. And don't flip the card over itself, just keep it blank like that, because you're not supposed to know what's in your hand until your character activates. So only when it's their turn do you flip those cards.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm just doing this in advance so that we're ready to go for everybody. Okay, so that's Adina. Now we'll do Capac. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start Guard Captain Sever's turn. She's first in the turn order. And so she'll flip a targeting card, which is up here.
Yep.
Which will tell us who she's going to target. And that will be Onslaught. She's going to target that with the lowest health, which will be Adina. So she's going to target Adina, and the enemy and nearest soldier or creature activate. So, let me delete this, because he's no longer applicable. Guard Captain Sever, I'll bring down here below all of us. The Inquisitor, I'll bring down here. And the Tarpit Guardsman I'll bring down here. Okay, all the rest we don't need just now. So I'll bring them over here. Good. So looking at her card, she does 2 different melee attacks, both from range 1. So she needs to get beside her target. And she has a passive aura that just covers the whole board, where vampire allies, when they roll their attacks, 1 single sword pip will change to 2 sword pips on each attack. So for all intents and purposes, she gives everybody +1 damage on their rolls, so long as they roll at least a single sword. And if you look at the Inquisitor deck, the Inquisitor card, it doesn't say, oh, it does say soldier. Okay, so it does. So that Onslaught card that was her targeting card back up top says that the first thing she's going to do is target Adina, because that's the hero with the lowest health. Then you slide down from that, and the enemy, which is going to be one of us, and nearest soldier or creature will activate. So that would be Aleksandra is going to get a free activation. As is the Inquisitor that's immediately to her left on the board, because that is the closest soldier, is right here to her left.
Oh,
And
okay.
the closest hero is dead straight forward, Aleksandra.
Yeah. Sweet.
So that's what's going to happen, but we'll resolve that in order of how it's written on that card. So, looking at her character board, she has 5 movement, and she wants to get to Adina. So she's going to take the path of least resistance, which means she's going to go through the Inquisitor to her left, up diagonally 1, and then 3 spaces forward. And then she's going to do nothing, because both of her attacks require range 1. And now we go back to, because she can't do anything, she can't make that attack, she's now prepared. So the first hero to get within melee range of her before her next actual activation will get attacked by her. So if at all possible, try not to move into her range, or she's going to get a free attack on you because she's prepared. And you can see that by the green token that I just placed on her on the board.
Okay.
That
All right.
Prepared. So if you had something like, if you had Vanessa on the board and she could just shoot her with an arrow, that would get rid of her prepared stance. Okay. Otherwise, we just have to wait till she activates again, because that will get rid of it. So that's the end of her turn. But now the nearest enemy, Aleksandra, is going to get a free activation. So she gets to flip all 5 of her cards and then take a full turn.
Alright, let's flip. Can I flip them all at once if I highlight them all?
No, one at a time, unfortunately. You just have to double click them with your left mouse button.
Okay. Alright, what do we got? Assign 3 power to sell. Alligator. Sweet. Wow. Okay. Nice. Okay, so I have 6 AP right now.
Yep.
What is the range on my sinister chakrams?
You have to be melee distance. You have to be adjacent to your enemy.
Okay.
So if you look in the top left-hand corner of that card, there's a couple circles with a 1.
Yeah.
1 space away.
Okay. So that means I could use the Tear Lightning Orb from 3 spaces away.
Yes, you could throw your orb at Guardsman number 3 straight ahead, and it would hit anyone linked, so the other guy next to him. That is something. Yes, but you'd have to move forward 1 space to do that.
And that just uses... Does that use any AP to do?
It costs 1 AP to use an item or consumable like this.
Okay.
So you may want to use that when you have more than 2 enemies bunched together, or whenever you deem appropriate.
Okay. I'm actually going to not take your advice. I'm going to have Aleksandra charge at the captain.
Okay.
Because she benefits by gaining power when she takes damage.
Yep.
And so I'm okay with her. She has some self-healing stuff when she attacks.
Yes, she does.
Question. The Hellfire Lantern, it says all vampire allies have, on attacks, steal life 2. Now, does this apply to Aleksandra herself, or only other vampires?
It also applies to her.
Oh, man, yes. Okay. This is a good setup. So, yeah, let's move her directly adjacent to the guard captain.
Diagonally or in front of or beside her?
Let's have her be diagonal to the guard captain so that other heroes can.
Okay, so before you continue, she is no longer prepared, and she
Yep.
is going to do spinning blades, which is going to be 4 green die against you plus 3 base damage. And let's see, if able to engage multiple enemies, which she is not, advance, attack, and apply bleed to as many enemies as possible. Return after attack. Oh, so she is going to. So she has some movement. So she is able to engage Capac if she moves forward, and then she would return after the attack. So she's not going to hit just you. She's going to hit Capac too. Because you went into her range. So she's going to advance 1 space. She is going to roll 4 green die. 1, 2, 3, 4. And she's going to apply bleed to as many enemies as possible. I'm going to minimize this just for one moment and type Stormsunder rulebook, just so I can pull up the rules on things like that. And go Control Find, Bleed. I think it's just react, adding the bleed and burn stones. Okay, next. The target is assigned 1 damage at the beginning of each activation. Any healing on the target will remove bleed. So until we're healed, even a smidge, we take damage.
Okay.
After she takes her turn. So she's going to roll her 4 green die. And she got 5, plus her base of 3. So that's a total of 8. And then if you look at your character card, Aleksandra has 1 permanent defense here, denoted by this shield with the star. So she's going to take 7 damage because only 1 is blocked by this.
Okay.
So of her 18 health, she's now down to 11. So I'm going to give you a 5 spot for health. And then 2 1s. I'm actually just going to put it off to the side so it's easier to grab.
Perfect.
There's your 7 damage. And then Capac, it was 8 minus his 6 is only 2 damage, but he loses 1 of his armors. So one of these chink away, and he only takes 2 damage. Like so. But now we all have bleed, which is here. Which I'm going to duplicate.
And what removes a bleed?
If we get a healing of any kind. I don't think lifesteal applies, but Adina will be able to help us out.
Okay. I also, because I was attacked, gain 1 power, correct?
Yes, you do. So if you want to grab a triangle that says 1 on it, click it, and then just drag it down to whichever of the 2 cards you want to assign it to. So you can put it next to Leap Attack or Bloody Howl.
Go with Bloody Howl.
Most people tend to use Leap Attack, as it gives you +2 dice on your attacks, and she gets, when she's charged up, she gets a lot of attacks per turns, but Bloody Howl is pretty good too. Okay, so that's your 1 power, and the guard captain then retreated back to her original position. So that is the end of her prepared, but now we're still on your turn. So now you actually get to finalize your turn.
Yes, okay. I am gonna go in pretty hard. I've lost, what, 7 health?
You have 11 health total left. You lost 7.
11, okay. Now, can I play multiple cards to enhance an attack? So could I play Rapid Strikes and Fury 2 on the same attack?
So you see that little icon that's down by the text?
Yeah.
Only one icon like that can be associated with your attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm also seeing Berserker 1, Berserker 2, Berserker 3 at the bottom. Does that mean anything?
So there's some deck building component to this game in that not only can you upgrade the armor of your characters and stuff as you progress through the campaign, but you can get stronger cards that you're dealing into your hand every turn. And so Berserker 2 Duelist 5 just means that a duelist like Winter would only get access to rapid strikes when her character level is 5, whereas Aleksandra, being a Berserker, gets it as early as level 2.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. I'll hold on to that for a moment. I think I'm going to play Rapid Strikes and then do an attack.
Yep, so Rapid Strikes just allows you to add 2 base damage to the attack, but if you discard 2 other cards as well, it'll actually be plus 6 base damage.
6. I don't want to discard 2, but I will discard 1 for the extra 4 base damage. So I'm going to discard Glory of Tar Pit.
Cool, just double click it to flip it. And then flip Rapid Strikes. So now you're going to have a base damage of 4.
On top of the normal base damage, which is
1 currently.
1. Where does that show?
That'll be this little triangle up here above your card.
Oh, cool. Okay. So 5 base damage, and then with the weapon, it's 2 green dice.
Yep, but that card also... Did it add dice? Hold on. I don't think it added dice. No, it didn't add dice. Okay.
I thought the BD meant blue dice.
No, base damage.
Base damage, that's good. That's just automatic hits.
Okay, so you have plus 5 base damage and you're rolling 2 green die. So here's your roll. And that's another 3, so you rolled a total of 8 against Guard Captain Sever, and that is all physical damage. And then if you come down to her card, the shield on Guard Captain Sever's board on the left denotes physical resistance, and the shield to the right of it denotes magical resistance. So she only blocks 1 of the 8 damage. So you did 7 damage to her health of 20. So that's pretty good. So she has 5.
And that was just the free activation that I got from her move, right?
Correct. Now, you're not actually done yet because you used that card, Rapid Strikes, which costs you 2 action points.
Yep.
You also did an attack with your Chakram, which is 2 action points. And your Chakram has Frenzy, if you read it, which allows you to make as many attacks as you want in a turn as you have action points to allow you to do so. So you have 2 action points left. So you can do another attack against her with your base damage of 1 this time and just 2 green die.
Hell yeah.
Or you can use your remaining 2 action points to use Sacrifice, for example, if you wanted to give an ally 3 power. Or you could use 1 on Fury. But you can't on Fury because then you wouldn't have enough left to make the actual attack.
Yeah.
Self-preservation is free for you to drink and gives you 2 AP. So you could actually do 2 more attacks if you used self-preservation right now. You see
Or
that?
I could use self-preservation and then do an attack with fury.
Right, and you lost 7 health, so you would get +1 base damage. So you get +2 base damage on 1 attack.
Let's just now. When it actually gets to my turn, am I going to draw more cards, or are these?
You're going to activate, and on activation, you draw up to a maximum of 3 cards.
Draw up to 3 cards. Okay.
So, for example, if you saved Fury and just used self-preservation, then made 2 attacks, you'd be out of action points, and you would have 3 available card slots left to completely fill your hand. Whereas if you drank that, then used Fury, you'd only be making 1 attack right now. It would have some extra base damage, yes, but then you would only have 4 cards at the beginning of your next turn. Because you can't draw 4 to fill your hand.
All right. Yep. I'm going to use... I'm just going to do a attack. I'll ask you to do 1 more attack with Sinister Shock.
Okay. And that was 2 swords plus your base damage of 1 is 3, minus her 1 defense gets you 2 damage to Guard Captain Sever. So she's at a total of 9 damage out of her 20 health. And so your turn is done unless you drink self-preservation. That's up to you.
I will hold on to that.
Okay. In which case, it is now the nearest enemy before she moved, which will be Inquisitor number 2. So that enemy is going to activate. And when they activate, they draw a new target. So we shall see what that is. That will be... challenge, that with the highest health. That's Capac. And it will have +1 dice. So she can't shoot through Aleksander. Aleksandra. So, looking at their card, they have a movement of 3. And they will only move so far as they need to be able to attack, and they have a range of 4. And so they'll probably just take Path of Least Resistance again, and move 1 space diagonally to their left, and then 1 space further up, to then shoot 1, 2, 3, 4 between Aleksandra and Guard Captain Sever, landing a glancing diagonal blow on Capac like that. And so they will shoot using Judgment, which leads to careful advance and attack on 2 stars assigned damage. So they're just rolling 3 green die, and they have a base damage of 3. And so we roll those 3 green die, and they get 3 more, so that's 6 total when we factor in their base damage. There was no double stars rolled, so none of that is assigned. But then we go back to Guard Captain Sever's card, and it says 1 sword will switch to 2 swords on each attack. So in this case, they actually rolled 4 instead of 3. So that's a total of 7 against Capac. He has 5.
So wouldn't each one of those dice then become 2 swords instead of 1?
No. Vampire allies alter 1 sword to 2 swords on each attack. Oh! I guess you could interpret it that way. I interpreted it originally as just a single. But I guess that means...
so that would be 6 plus their base damage of 3.
Yeah, 9. So that's 9. Okay, yeah, that sucks. Let's do it that way. He still has 5 cumulative defense, so he's going to lose 1 armor and take 4 damage. So I'm just going to bring him a 5 spot and return a 1 spot. Here we go. And that is the end of... Oh, shit. Their attack has +1 dice per the challenge card. I didn't do that. And it's another single pip. So that's actually 2. So he would take 2 more damage. So there's a lot of small things that when you have a group of people sitting around the same table, it's probably easy to remember all of it, but when it's like this, it's a little bit more challenging. Okay, so that is the end of Guard Captain Sever's turn. So now Aleksander is going to activate.
Now, can he just move 1 diagonal, 2, 3, 4, so that he's in that space between the Guard Captain and Aleksandra?
Let me look at his board. He
got 6 movement.
6 movement. So he can actually do this, if you follow my mouse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and gain flanking for +2 base damage.
Oh, that puts him right in range of all of those guys, though.
It does, but they'll have range on him regardless or not once they activate, if they're targeting him. And he could be here, and if they don't draw him, they're not necessarily going to target him.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah, let's do that then.
Okay, so you want to move him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh,
and you now have flanking on Guard Captain Sever. And your base attack is 4, so it's now actually 6 base damage just from being positioned where you are.
That's good.
I gotta read his cards. If you roll 2 stars, it's assigned damage. Discard 1 to retaliate against adjacent attackers. That's pretty sweet.
That's fine. Increase speed. Oh, yeah, bleed. Okay. Target's 5 or less health. His attack is slain. Oh, nice. What is the Guard Captain's health pool at right now?
If he just needs to be below 50%, you just need to do 2 damage.
Needs to be below 5 health. 5 or less health.
What card are you looking at?
I am looking at Execute. If target has 5 or less health after this attack, it is slain.
They have 9 damage, so you would need to do 6. You have a base damage right now of 6, minus their defense of 1 against physical attacks. So you would be doing guaranteed already 5. So you need to at least accommodate 1 to 2 more damage above that. Meaning you can pretty much just roll and you'll get it.
And kill her. In fact, it looks like she's got 17 damage has been done.
Sorry, I grabbed 2 of the wrong ones.
Okay, fine. You said 9. Okay, so she has 11 health. I need to do 6 or more damage. Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
Now, if she dies, her ability goes away, so the subsequent guardsmen are not getting that extra
+1
hit on their dice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Okay, why don't we just go right ahead and try and murder that lady real quick? Okay, so I will play Execute for 1 AP out of my 5, and then I will use my sword to attack. 3 green and 1 red.
Okay, switching in 1 red. And you rolled a skull and 4 swords, so that's actually 7 on top of your 6 is 13 minus defensive 1 is 12, so you actually didn't even need to roll Execute or use Execute.
I know.
So you have killed Guard Captain Sever, whom I will remove from the board. if you look at her character card, it says you get 3 loot from that. Which we will come up here and go right here. That's the treasure deck. Okay, so draw to table. And if you want to flip these, you are welcome to, as they are yours. Bag of gold.
That's always nice.
Nothing. And armor.
Nothing. That's lame. Okay, some armor. That's cool. That's cool.
Which, of course, that's what you get. So that I have to go reaching for a physical card. Frig.
Oh.
And it doesn't specify common or rare, so I'm just going to pull that stack out. If you want to roll your 2d6, based on how high that is, out of 12, I will 6. So right in the middle, which is going to land on the common side, unfortunately, because there's more common than there is rare.
Okay.
And that will give you Brigand's Leather. This hero has +3 to all strength tests and 1 permanent defense that does not get chipped away. Which would give you less defense total and not allow you to retaliate against adjacent attackers by discarding. So it seems like not as good for you. Plus, you would need to have at least 9 agility and 7 perception. And you do not have that, so you couldn't use it anyways.
Well, it's 1/5 of the pile anyway.
Yes. Alright. So you killed her. She's removed. I'm going to remove her from the turn order. And do you have anything that you wish to do for the remainder of your turn with your 1 action point left?
Well, actually, I should have 3 action points left, right? I started with 5. I used 1 for the execute, 1 for the... Oh, 3 for the sword.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I am going to discard Vampire's... I don't gain any power for discarding Vampire's Bite, do I?
No, and there's no humans on here unless you want to bite ally. Oh, he can ignore his attack. That's cool.
Actually, discarding a card, does it just give you 1 power automatically, or does it give you the AP cost?
It gives you power equivalent to the AP cost.
Oh, that's super lame.
So, for example, only Throw Dagger would give you power.
I can discard a card anyway, though, right? Like Vampire's Bite, I don't really need that right now.
Yeah, you can discard that, because you'll draw a new one on your next hand, next activation.
Okay. I'm going to do that, and then I'll just hold on to the rest and end my turn.
Okay. And then... having action points remaining, you also have the ability to use these, one of them anyways, if you wish.
Yeah, I looked at that. And well, you know what? Fuck it. Let's use Potion of Cloaking, since I'm right out there in front of all of those guys. I feel like Aleksander would be the kind that would be like, and I'm done.
Cool. So they can't target you. So if they draw you as a target, they would just end up being prepared and not do anything.
Perfect. Okay.
Sweet. Okay, cool. So that is done. And then it's the end of your turn. So now guardsman number 1 is going to activate. And he is going to try to do elegant strike. And that occurs at range 1. So he needs to be adjacent. But he will strike linked fields. So let's see who he targets. Oh, shit. One moment. Can't get it to reconnect to the room.
There we go.
That working?
Yep.
All right. So. Yeah, it's not a perfect software yet. It's not without its kinks.
Indeed.
Okay, there we go. So you took your turn. The guardsman activated, and we tried to draw a target. And it's Aleksandra. So that is guardsman 1, who's way over here, and she's right there. And so they have a movement of 3, and they need to be adjacent. So he's going to go... He's just going to walk around Aleksander. 1, 2, 3.
Just walk right past him.
Yeah, he's just going to replace or fill the void that is the position that Guard Captain Sepper was in.
I see.
So he's there, and he is going to attempt to... actually, he's not going to do that. He is going to go 1, 2, 3, up 1 like this. And the reason he's going to do that is so that he can use his attack on more than one person. That makes sense. If you look at his elegant strike, it is advance and attack 3 linked adjacent fields.
Whew.
So by going 1 space further up, he will be able to hit Capac as well. So he has a base damage of 1, but rolls 2 green and 2 red. And let's see, intervene. Any attack against an adjacent ally targets the guardsman instead. Okay. Bulwark of Tarpit. Tarpit guardsman cannot be assigned damage unless being flanked in defensive formation. Has +1 physical defense if adjacent to at least one other Tarpit guardsman, which is not the case right now. Okay. So they suck when they are adjacent to each other. I mean,
Yeah, they do.
they suck for us when they're adjacent to one another.
Yeah, they do.
Alright, so he's going to roll that. And he gets a star, which is nothing, +4. Plus his base damage of 1 is 5. So 5 less Aleksandra's defense of 1 is 4 damage.
Yep.
So she's at a total of
there
11.
you go.
I'm just going to bring down a 10 spot and get rid of 5. And get rid of one of her 1s. There we go. So she's at 11. And Capac would be, that would be a total of 5 less 4 is 3.
You know what? We didn't heal Aleksandra when she attacked the guard captain.
We did not. So the 10 will be 5 plus 3 1s.
So she did 2 attacks, right? It says life steal 2. What does that mean?
On each attack, you would take
Yep.
2 health. So you would actually only be at 7 damage right now instead of 11. So there you go. And Capac lost an armor and is now taking those 5 less 4 is 1 damage. So he's at a total of 9 damage. Okay. And that is the end of guardsman number 1. Now it is on to guardsman number 2, who's going to draw a target. And that will be the highest health, which will be Capac is 28, I believe. 28 less his 9 is still 19, and I think that's still higher than everybody else. 15 for Aleksander. Aleksander's hurt. Yeah. Okay, so it's still Capac. So Number 2 is just going to walk 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, to the other side, and does not have flanking on Capac, but he does have flanking on Aleksandra with the other guardsmen. So I'm just going to roll it. And he has a base damage of 1. And, oh my god, that's a shitty roll for us, oh my god. That is a total of 8, plus his base damage of 1 is 9. But because he's flanking on Aleksandra, that's 9 plus 2 is 11, minus her defense of 1 is 10. She takes 10 damage.
Ow.
So she's at 17 of how much health?
18.
Oh, she has 1 health left. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Oh boy.
Lesson learned on running in to smack guard captains in the face.
Well, I mean...
That would be that much damage you have less right now.
Nobody expected...
No, they didn't.
The guard captain's minion to walk up and do 11 damage.
And so that is also 6, 7, 8, 9, heading towards Capac. Minus his 3 is 6 damage. So 6 plus those 4 ones is 10. So he'll be at 15 damage. Hey, buddy, what's up?
I lost my power token. Where'd it go?
I think it got stuck on Capac's cards.
Yeah, it disappeared on me. You see it and wanna...
It probably like slipped behind something. It's all good. Just grab a different one.
Perfect.
So he has 15 damage. You have 17 damage. And the next time Aleksandra activates, if she doesn't get healed before then, she dies from bleed.
Oh, well, she's gonna die.
And that's the end of Guardsman 2's turn, which means it is now Capac's turn. So he's going to flip his cards. So he can stun somebody.
Now, do we have to play it in this order every time with the heroes, or can we decide that, hey, I want this hero to go instead?
We can rearrange at the end. So like once this goes, and we're back at the beginning of this turn order, before starting it all over again, we can rearrange the hero's turn order.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Alright, so let's see what I got. So Outcast. Other heroes may not use cards during this hero's activation, so you can't help me. Okay. So that's just off to the side. Dash, 2 speed, I don't really need that. Taunt. Nearby allies. So we're just going to go ahead and put this on you right now. Over here. Next time Aleksander is about to get hit, I would get hit instead. It doesn't cost me anything to do that. And take a breather. Discard 2 to refill this hand. And Jawbreaker requires melee. Apply stun to a target. So that applies. I'm attacking them. Okay. Knock back. Oh, my boots. I forgot about my boots on that last one. For each skull, for each red dice rolled against Capac that ends up being a skull, I get to roll a red dice too. And if I also roll a skull, I get to ignore one of them, or both of them, if I roll 2 skulls. So I'm just going to re-roll those red die, and I got no skulls, so nothing. Okay, that sucks. So, It looks like I can... Okay, so how many action points do I have? 5. So I'm going to... I don't want to do this. I don't want to go too far, and I want to stay linked to Aleksandra in case Adina is able to do chain healing. So I am going to just move 2 spots to be flanking with Aleksandra on number 1. And I'm going to use Jawbreaker, which requires 1 action point, and my Flail, which requires 3 for 4 of my 5. So this attack will just attack him with +2 base damage because I'm flanking. And it will, so that'll be a total of 5 base damage with 2 red die added to that. And it will stun this guy. And that's 2 red die, so that's a total of 7 then, which is red die, so magic in this sense, and I think they don't have any armor against that. Yeah, so he's just taking 7 straight damage.
Sweet.
Nothing is blocked. So here's 7 damage, which is going to go underneath Guardsman number 1. Oh shit, I see what happened.
Or it's running away with you.
It was. Okay. So Guardsman number 1 has 7 damage, and he is stunned. Stun. Good. So if we ignore him, he'll stay stunned and not take a turn. I think... actually, never mind. He stays stunned regardless. So his next activation, if he's not dead by then, he's not going to do anything. So we should just prioritize hurting others now. And I have 1 action point left, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and use that action point to consume Greater Healing Potion, which I'm just going to flip. Oops, unlock it. Flip it. So I have no action points left, and that's for 15 health, and I'm just going to remove my damage. So I'm back to full health at 28. That is the end of Capac's turn. But now, hopefully, they will target Capac, because I did taunt for Aleksandra, so she doesn't die. Alright.
Unfortunately, she's going to die. She's the next hero that's up.
Oh, that's true. And we can't readjust. Oh, that sucks. I don't think I had anything different where I could give you health.
No, I don't think so either. The only justification I could think of is that Lifesteal does heal and removes bleed.
On attack, Lifesteal 2. I don't know, let's ask Robert. Maybe he'll reply right away. Would Hellfire, Lantern, Lifesteal on attack for Aleksandra allow for what was it? Would Hellfire, Lantern, Lifesteal on attack for Aleksandra count
as healing?
As healing.
Remove bleed.
Remove bleed effect from her. Alright, we'll see if he replies. Okay. So Inquisitor number 1 is going to take their turn. Who was the last person to go? That was Guardsman 2. Attack has +2 dice on the last challenge. We didn't do that. Guardsman 2 rolls, so it would be 2 additional green die. So I only rolled 2. I should have rolled 4 green die. So hopefully we get 2 blanks, because if we get anything, Aleksander's dead.
Oh, Nelly!
And 3 swords. So she's dead. No.
Never mind about that bleed. Okay, so what happens when somebody dies?
Good question. I am not certain. Let me look at the rules. Death. Character deaths are often a dramatic and exciting twist to the plot, but in a world of vampires and mummy liches, death is not always the end of a hero's story. The more flexible the players choose to be with their heroes, the more fun they will likely have, especially during repeated playthroughs. I guess you're just dead.
Oh. Well then. So be it.
That sucks. Okay, Aleksandra is dead.
That double crit was pretty fucking brutal. Not gonna lie.
That was bad. Okay, and so they drew Aleksandra as the next one, so that won't do anything. I think it's safe to assume that that's not who they would target. They're not going to target a dead person, so I would just draw again.
I guess she would die, and then you would just remove her from the...
Yeah. So in this case, Aleksander is the next target.
He is invisible.
Right. So Inquisitor 1 is just going to be prepared. Where is Inquisitor 1? Right over here. So they're not even going to move, and they're just going to stay prepared. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we want to stay out of range 4 of the bottom right-hand corner. So Inquisitor 2 is going to go then. This is the first time I've seen a character die.
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, Capac. So Inquisitor number 2 is right here. Capac is right there. So they don't even need to move. And they are going to just do attack with 3 green die. Uh, 5 plus a base damage of 3. It's 8 minus Capac's 3 is 5 damage. Alright. That is the end of Inquisitor number 2. Inquisitor number 3 draws Assault, the nearest enemy, and ignore 1 defense. So number 3's nearest enemy will be Aleksandra, who's dead, so let's remove her. That would then be, I think, Aleksander, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, who is stealth, so it's not him. Mm-hmm. So it's either Inquisitor number 3. That would be Capac. And he's just going to go 4 spaces, so 1, 2, 3, 4, so 1 diagonal. And then he'll be able to shoot. Because he has a range of 4. Yeah. Alright, so 3 green die. Shoot it, and that is 4 plus 3 is 7, minus 3 is 4 damage. So I'm just going to take a 1 off and replace it with a 5. So Capac has 12 damage again. And now it is Guardsman number 3's turn. This is a hard fight.
It is. Like, these guys are dealing a lot of damage.
And he targeted Adina. He only has a movement of 3. 1, 2, 3 puts him 1, 2, 3. right in the middle of all the others and not in reach, so he will be prepared. And guardsman number 4 then will activate. And also target Adina, but not be able to reach. So they're all in one big line. Also prepared. And now it is Adina's turn, who's going to activate. Throw rock.
Just throw a rock.
Healing this hero's current health. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Healing
very
on
nice.
4. Self-preservation. Damn it. Not what I wanted to draw. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, not what I wanted to draw. So I can't get anywhere over there without getting smacked. So I'm going to wait to do that, and I'm going to actually throw a rock, heal. Yeah, so Capac is 12 damage, Aleksander's dead, so all of her damage doesn't matter. Come up here. And bleed no longer applies to her. Go up here. Self-preservation will be 5. Okay, I have an idea. So I'm going to use 2 action points to throw a rock and stun guardsman number 3, who's prepared. And now he is no longer prepared and is now stunned. Cool?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to move 1 space forward to be adjacent to him. I have 3 action points left, so I am going to drink self-preservation
Get 2 more.
to have 5 total, which will then allow me to use Fist of the Heavens. And if I discard 2 and spend 5 AP, I get to just vaporize a vampire.
Nice.
So I'm going to discard Punch. And I'm going to discard
Yeah, sympathetic.
Sympathetic. And that vaporizes guardsman number 3. But unfortunately, I don't get any loot or experience from that. But he is now dead. So guardsman number 3 gets removed from the board up here. And that tightens that up. And then on Adina's character board, refill this hero's hand at the end of their activation if they did not inflict damage. So vaporizing somebody with the mace actually doesn't count as causing damage. So
Yep.
I get to refill my hand. So I'm just going to draw a few more cards.
Excuse me a moment. I need to run into the other room.
Absolutely. So, a couple more cards. Draw the table. Minor shielding. Apply 1 barrier to self or an ally. Okay. Self-doubt will not use stat bonuses for this activation. Okay, I'll leave that there. Apply stun to a vampire raised enemy. That's helpful. Heal self for 6. Okay, so invigorate, dude. It's 2 action points. Oops. Invig. 2 max speed, so 2 movement and 2 action points until the next time they end their activation. Okay. But I already used all my action points, so I can't use this. Okay. In that case, I guess I'm going to...
Alright. Anybody else die while I was gone?
No one else has died yet.
That's good.
But I didn't get really what I wanted. So I am going to discard balance for 3 action point, 3 power. And I'm going to discard Blessed Aid for 2 power. So that's a total of 5, which allows me to use Chain Healing. Boom. Because I only need 5, not 6 to do it. Because of my aura, everyone, the cost to use your ultimates and stuff is reduced by 1 when Adina is present. So that's fully charged. And that doesn't cost me anything. I could do that now, for example, but I'd only be healing myself or Capac, and Aleksander doesn't have any damage. So it's not useful yet. And that's the end of the entire sequence. I would propose that Adina goes first in the turn order.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that this all... What does this say? May not use stat bonuses for this activation. And I drew it during this one, so... Okay, so that doesn't apply. So I could draw up to 3 cards here. If it works out, you'll be very excited, and if it doesn't, well, it doesn't. So Aleksander, so where would you want Aleksander to be? Second or last? Keep in mind he's stealth, so he won't be attacked at all here until he activates again.
Yeah, why don't we have him go last then? He seems like an opportunist that would wait for the right chance.
Alright, so Adina will go next. So she'll just activate again. And Capac stays where he is. So if she activates again, she draws 3 cards. Draw the table. Draw the table. Draw to table. Okay. Burst healing. Heal all allies for this hero's spirit. Okay.
Nice, nice.
Holy arrows. Come on. No! Damn it.
What have you been hoping for here?
Revive.
Oh, that's a thing she can do?
Yes.
Sweet.
Yeah. I was hoping I might be able to revive Aleksandra. Okay, but I got some stuff I can do. So I can heal, discard 1 to attack all nearby raised enemies. No. After the attack, this hero may discard 2 to attack the same target with Holy Blast again. I don't want to do that either. Okay, so that's 2 power. That's 2 power. Burst healing. What does smite do? Raised soldiers or apply stun to all adjacent enemies. That could be useful, but let's just do this. Okay. So I am going to put Nature's Light, Burst Healing. Looks like everything's going to be coming at me or Capac right now. So Capac has 12 damage.
She should totally heal him.
So Guardsman 1 is stunned. I'm going to use Yadra's Light to stun a vampire or raised enemy, and it doesn't specify how far away. So I'm going to stun Guardsman number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Duplicate. Bingo. So both of them are stunned, and that uses Yadra's Light. I have 3 action points left. I'm going to use one of them for Reflex Potion, which gives me 2 action points and 2 speed. So now I will be at 4 action points. So I'll just flip that. So now I have 4. So now I'm going to cast Minor Shielding on myself. So the next time I get attacked, it's just going to do nothing. So nothing happens to me on my next turn. So I'm just going to put Taunt on Adina here, just to symbolize that. And then I'm going to use my remaining 2 action points to exhaust Young Phoenix. So I'm just going to unlock that and turn it to put Capac at full health.
There you go.
As he's about to be a punching bag. Okay. That uses all of her stuff. And I'm going to discard Burst Healing for 3 power. And I'm going to discard
Holy arrows. There are no raised enemies.
Discard 1 to raised enemies. Yes, I agree. For another 2. So that's a total of 5 power there as well. So that's 10 power. So I can use Chain Healing twice in a row. Cool. So I have 1 card left. Alright. And now it comes to Tarpic Guardsman 1's turn. He can't take it because he's stunned, but now he is no longer stunned. Then it is Guardsman 2's turn, but he's stunned, so he can no longer go. And now it is Capac's turn. Okay. And Capac has take a breather, discard 2 to refill the hand, and Jawbreaker. No, I used Jawbreaker, right? I stunned somebody. Yes.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, I stunned somebody, so move that over there. Okay, so he draws 3 cards. Draw the table. Throw rock, so he can stun somebody. Nice. Draw the table. Punch, useless. Draw the table. Select 1 creature within 1 zone to make a free activation, so that's worth some power at least. Punch is worth some power. Dash, throw rock, take a breather. So I am going to put Domination aside. Maybe not. Shield Bash needs 3 power. I'm going to discard Punch for 2 power. And put that on Shield Bash. And then I'm I'm going to throw a rock. But to do that, I want to... How far does it say you can throw a rock? 3 range, so 1, 2, 3. So I need to move 1 space forward diagonally like that. Boom. So I'm going to throw a rock for 2 action points. And stun guardsman number 4. So guardsman number 4 is now stunned. Okay, so he's no longer prepared. And he is stunned. And then I am going to discard take a breather for 2 power and put that on shield bash. So the next time Capac gets attacked, he can direct it at the attacker. And I'm going to use my remaining 3 action points to just make a simple attack against guardsman number 1. So that's 2 red die plus my base damage. Plus I'm flanking now with Adina.
Yeah.
So that is 3 plus 2 is 5 plus the 2 red die. And I rolled another 2, so that's a total of 7 magical damage, which will bypass his armor. And that is guardsman number 1. And that puts him at 14 damage out of his 18 health. Alright, so guardsman 1's almost dead. Yeah, but now we were on to... we're at the end of Capac's turn, so he's going to be done. So now it's the Inquisitor. So Inquisitor 1 is going to pull a target. And he's going to target the highest health, which is Capac. Plus 3 dice. Oh my god. 6 green die. So they have a base attack. Base attack of 3 damage. And now have 6 green die. And this is Inquisitor number 1, who's way down here. So he's no longer prepared. And he's going to 1, 2, 3, 4. So he just needs to move 1 spot over to his left. And then he is at range 4 from Capac. And he's going to roll 6 green die. That is insane. And he's going to roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus his 3 is 8, 9, 10.
Whew, it's a good thing that guard captain is gone.
No kidding. So that causes 7 damage to Capac. 5, 6, 7. Okay. And now it's going to be Inquisitor number 2's turn. And they will draw Harass, the nearest enemy, and all nearby enemies are assigned 2 damage. So the nearest enemy is Capac, because Aleksander is stealth still. And he doesn't need to advance for that. He's just going to roll 3 damage, or 3 die rather. Plus his base damage of 3 is 6, minus my 3 defense is 3 damage to Capac, which will put him at 10 damage total. And then nearby enemies denoting within the same zone as the person who's doing the attack. The same zone is this quadrant down here, for which there are only one, and that's Aleksander, and he's stealthed, so I don't think that actually applies. But we can confirm with Robert after. So I think he's actually good. And then Inquisitor number 3 would go. And he draws Capac. Oh my god. And Inquisitor number 3's right there. He doesn't even need to move. So he's just going to roll his 3 green die.
I mean, that's kind of what we want, though, right?
That is exactly what we want. He did get 1 star. Oh, so that doesn't do anything. So he's going to get 2 plus his base damage of 3 is 5. Minus Capac's 3 armor is 2. So 2 damage to Capac.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. And Shield Bash lets him apply 5 damage to adjacent attackers. And he doesn't have an adjacent attacker in this moment. Okay. That is the end of the Inquisitors. Now it is Tarpik Guardsman 4, but he is stunned, so he won't take his activation, but now he is unstunned. It is now Aleksander's turn.
Alright. So, where the hell? I lost track of him. Oh, there he is. He's connected to Capac there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, should I try and take somebody out here? Guardsman what?
So the only person that has damage right now is Guardsman number 1, and he is not stunned. So if we don't kill him during your turn, he will activate after Adina activates.
Okay.
Adina could probably take care of him, to be honest, but maybe not.
What does Shatter do?
Shatter. The next attack the target receives assigns damage. So if they have, it would, depending on who you're fighting. So if you're targeting the guardsmen, they block 2 physical damage. So that's like adding +2 to your attack. Whereas the Inquisitors only block 1. So it's probably best to use that against a guardsman.
Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go, and we flank this guardsman. What's this guardsman? Well, guardsman 1, you said Adina will probably be able to take him out, right?
I think so.
Who's been doing? We don't want but these 2 are next to each other, so they're gonna have defense. But if I shatter, that won't matter.
So if you attack 2, your damage is going to land on 4. If you attack 4, your damage is going to land on 2, because you have 2 guardsmen side by side and they intervene on each other. They're also going to have +1 defense for being next to another guardsman. So they're pretty strong when they're side by side. So you may want to target an Inquisitor instead.
Does each guardsman pull a target separately?
Say that again?
So when Guardsman's 2, when his turn comes up, is he going to get a different target to attack than Guardsman 4, for example?
Yes.
Okay. Well, they might separate then, so yeah, let's try and squish this Inquisitor. That's right. Inquisitor 2.
Okay.
We can whack at him.
So if you have, you could do a couple things here. Take a breather is upside down for you. That's interesting.
I rotated it twice and then got annoyed with how much effort it took to rotate it back and just stopped.
That's funny. There you go. It's right side up. So, for example, you could discard Take a Breather and throw Dagger and have 4 power and put that on Precise Thrust and replace all of the dice in your attack with red dice. So your 3 green, 1 red would become 4 red. And then you have the opportunity to get a whole bunch of skulls, which are worth 3 damage instead of 1 or 2 swords.
Yeah.
That's something you could potentially do.
I don't have any power yet, though, so I'd be 1 short for using that ability.
Nope, because Adina's aura decreases the cost by 1.
That applies to everybody.
Everybody.
Oh, shit. In that case, hell yeah, let's do that. All right, so we'll double-click that one and that one. I'm not
interesting. I don't think we've ever played with that correctly, actually. Ever, in any of the playthroughs. It's her Overseer's Collar that does that. Signature skills cost 1 less power at range 3.
Oh.
And so you would have to be within 3 spaces of her, which you are currently. You don't even have to move, and you do get it. So yeah, you're fine. You could do that. You could burn 2 cards, get 4 power, and use it.
Hell yeah, let's do it. Let's stab this idiot.
Alright, so you're doing that, and... Okay, and then... I'm trying to think if there's any other cool things that your guy has. Retaliate. It's pretty much that. Gain exhaust for 2 AP ability for 3. Yeah, so you're just doing that. So 4 red die plus your base damage of 4. Okay.
Yep. It does say I get +1 base damage with swords and daggers. Is that taken into account with the?
It is, yes.
That I have? Okay, great.
Yeah. So you rolled 4 plus your base damage of 4 is 8.
-1.
This would... Oh, you know what? That was really bad advice that I gave. The reason being is these guys have 2 magical armor defense. Sorry, never mind. These are red dice, and all of them are red dice. So you get to choose what kind of damage it does, physical versus magical. In this case...
Oh, yeah.
In this case, physical, yeah. So that's 8 minus 1 is 7. So you do 7 damage to Inquisitor number 1.
Now, this says this hero draws 1 card at the beginning of their activation, regardless of how many cards are in their hand. Does that mean if I have 5 cards, I draw 1? Okay, that would make sense.
Yeah, now, so you should have 1 extra card right now.
Right. So if I had 3 cards in my hand at the beginning of my activation, would I draw 3?
4. You would draw.
Bring me up to a total of 6.
Yeah, sorry, you would draw 3. Yeah.
All right, let me draw 1 more. So I still have. Ooh. Well, that's handy. Why don't we... because I should have 1... let's see, how many AP do I have left? I used... All I did was a normal attack power, right? So it's 3?
Correct, but you won't be able to do anything other than maybe use an item because you don't have Frenzy like Aleksandra where you can do more than 1 attack.
Oh. Okay.
So you could you could use your AP to throw an Infernal Grenade, for example.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Why don't we do that? Now the Infernal Grenade is blue damage, which is
magic.
So why don't we throw that at the guardsmen? Because there's 2 of them bunched right up next to each other.
Yep.
And they don't have any defense against that.
Okay.
3 by 3. Unlock that and flip it.
All right,
right, 5 blue dice on guardsmen 2 and 4.
Okay. And 5 blue die. And that is 4 damage to both of them. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's just, yeah, okay. And that would allow you to choose a 3x3 square, and obviously you would do one that doesn't hit Capac right now or Adina. Otherwise, yeah, so you would just pick number 2, Guardsman 2 being the top left corner of that 3x3, and that would hit both of them. Anyways, they're both going to take 4 damage here. And duplicate. So that's 2 and 4. So here's 4 under 4. Number 2 is going to have 4 damage as well. Duplicate.
So here's a question. Now that I've attacked, can I still move? Since
yes.
I haven't moved yet?
Yes, you can.
See you, bitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you move Aleksander behind the column to Adina's left?
Directly behind it or diagonally behind it?
2, 3, 4. Right there.
Yep.
Directly. Yeah.
Okay. So he's now behind the column, and that is the end of his turn, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So then it would be back to the beginning again, and we can completely change around the turn order again if we wish.
Okay. How's Capac's health doing right now?
He's at 12 damage again.
Okay. Should we have Adina go first?
So Adina would go first. She would kill Guardsman 1 theoretically, and then Guardsman 2 would be coming up. So she would be able to heal Capac a little bit, and then go from there. Yeah.
And then maybe we have Capac go second. So kind of keep the order the way it is.
All right. So Adina will go first then, and she's going to draw 3 cards to round out her.
We should be getting revived, maybe?
If this is the last 3 in her, it is the last 3, so we should be getting it.
Hooray!
Unless I'm like sorely mistaken and it's not her that has it, but
I feel like it's
Rebirth, there it is.
Revive a downed ally with full health. Oh man, that makes me happy. Don't get me wrong, I like Aleksander, but today, like, I want to play Aleksandra. I like the whole like berserker aspect of her character.
So I'm going to so 3. God damn. Okay. An ally gains 1 power or Holy Blast. So we're in a bit of a pickle here. I only have 5 action points. It costs me 3 to do Rebirth, and then I won't have enough to attack that guy and kill him before his turn. However,
that actually raises an important question, though. When Aleksandra is revived, What spot does she take in the initiative order?
The very end.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to... God, how much health does he have left? Guardsman 1. He has 14 damage and he has 18 health. So even doing Holy Blast doesn't get him close enough. I'm going to... Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to worry about killing him. I'm going to use Rebirth and discard 2 cards. I'm going to discard Dash. And I'm going to discard Holy Blast. And I'm going to quickly use Empower to give one ally power. And that power will go to... I would say Aleksandra loses her 3 power when she dies.
That's understandable.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is remove those from her and pretend I didn't use that card yet that gives 1 power, because we're going to go ahead and revive her. And I have 2 action points left. And so I've used this card and the other one. So she's now back alive. And based on the starting points on the map, we would be here, here. I'll show you with the cursor. So she can be one of these 4 places where we originally spawned. There, where she is now.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
Or here.
Let's have her be where she is now.
Okay. That means if a guard targets her before her turn, they would walk over to here and hit both of these heroes. Whereas if she's over here and targeted, they're only hitting her.
I keep forgetting that's Adina right there and not another vampire. So, yeah, we'll put her over there.
Okay.
By herself.
So
that makes sense.
So she can go over there. Okay. And I only bring these things up for the purpose of people watching the stream, and because this is our first time playing through it together. And sometimes it just like going through those motions helps quite a bit. Okay, so she's back. She's full health. She has no power, but I used that card to give an ally 1 power. So I'm going to bring down 1 power, and I'm going to give it to Leap Attack.
Okay.
Or you can put it wherever you want, but Leap Attack is cheap, so she might be able to actually use it. And so I have 2 action points left. I've used Invigorate already, unfortunately. I guess I really don't have anything that I can possibly do. So, I haven't caused any damage this turn. So, I get to
But you know what?
I get to refill my hand.
Oh, sweet. You've also realistically caused a lot more damage in the future.
Yes, I have.
By reviving an insane vampire.
Okay, so all 15 cards are back in my deck. I'm going to quickly shuffle it. And I'm going to draw 5 cards. I still have... I still have 2 action points left. I just want to check something before I do anything with these cards. Because it may specify at the end of your turn, which means I've ended my turn.
Yep.
Refill this hero's hand at the end of their activation if they did not inflict damage. Yeah, so this just gives me cards to maybe use on someone else's turn. I can't use these right now. Okay.
Gotcha.
So they're just there. Self-doubt, can't use... Okay, whatever, that's just a waste. This one, minor shielding, can't use it. Self-preservation. holy arrows, and burst healing. Okay, so that was the end of her turn. Now it's guardsman number 1, who is going to draw a target. And he targets Aleksander, who is no longer invisible or stealthed. So this is guardsman number 1, who is close to Aleksander, and he is going to go 2 spaces, or 1 space rather, to right here. And from that position, he will be able to swipe 3 linked adjacent fields, one of which is Aleksander, one of which is this empty space, and the other of which is this adjacent diagonal space that has Adina. And he is going to roll 2 green and 2 red.
Oh, these guys are rough.
Yeah, dude, they suck. I hate this fight. 3 plus his 1 is 4. So Aleksander has a total of 4 cumulative armor and defense, so he takes no damage. But he loses a chink in his armor.
Yep. So it's when you take a hit and not when you take damage that you lose armor?
I believe so. Let me confer with the rules. Armor.
Because there was some confusion about that on a couple of the streams that I watched. Not yours, but other...
No, there was confusion about this on mine as well previously. I just don't remember the answer. Armor, weapon, The amount of armor the equipment provides. Armor acts like defense, removing damage from each attack equal to the amount of armor a hero has. However, armor is a diminishable resource. A hero loses 1 armor every time their armor lowers damage from an attack. So every time you got hit, it goes away, even if you don't take damage.
So then here's the question. Which reduces damage first, defense or armor? Doesn't matter in this particular situation, but, for example, if Capac had a ton of armor and he took 3 damage, he has 3 defense. So does it hit his defense first or his armor?
I would say defense goes first. And armor, if someone is attacking you with assigned damage that ignores armor or defense, it wouldn't lower your armor.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. All right, so that's a good clarification. Okay, so you didn't take any damage, but poor Adina here is going to take 3 damage. So I'm going to duplicate one of these here. She blocks 1 with her defense. And now she is going to have 3 damage. Okay. And now it is Guardsman 2's turn, who's going to draw the last targeting card in the deck. And he gets Mend. He's going to target the nearest enemy, which is either going to be Adina or Aleksandra. And I would say, because of the field that he's in, the nearest would denote in the same field if they're an equal distance away.
So he'll go after Aleksandra.
Yeah, so he's just going to move 1 spot up and target Aleksandra.
Come at me.
And he doesn't have any damage. Oh, he does have damage. Number 2. He's got 4 damage. On this card, he heals himself for 5. So I'm just going to remove that now. So he healed himself for 5, and he's targeting her. So 2 green, 2 red, targeting her. And he rolls 4 plus 2 stars. Did the stars do anything? They do not. So he just does 4 plus his base damage of 1 is 5. minus her 1. So a total of 4 damage. So I'm just going to bring the 4 down that he had to her. There she goes. And that is the end of his turn. And now it is Capac's turn. Now, Capac needs to draw 3 cards. I'm actually glad that we didn't kill that one guardsman who's close to death.
I am too. I'd like Aleksandra to try and finish him off.
Exactly. For the soul, man.
For the soul.
For the soul. Okay, so
I think what my plan is to have Aleksander also try and weaken one of the other guys enough where she might be able to kill 2 of them at once.
I like it.
Yep.
Okay, so he doesn't have any really useful cards here other than cards to get power. So he's going to ignore guardsman number 1, and I think what he's going to, and he has nothing down here right now to stun people with. So he's just going to go try to do some damage. So I'm going to bring him over next to Aleksandra over there, because then he might be able to protect her if she gets some damage heading her way. So 1, 2, 3. So he's over there now, and he's going to make a attack against guardsman number 2. He's going to roll Serpent's Flail, which is 3 action points and 2 red die. And he rolls 2, plus his base damage of 3 is 5, which will bypass all of their armor because they have none against magic, and he now has 5 damage, number 2. And I have 2 action points left, but nothing to do. I can't do anything with them. So I'm going to get rid of Battle Cry, worth 2 power, and I'm going to get rid of Domination for 2 power. And Rebuff, which is worth nothing, so that I can actually get some useful cards. And that gives me 4 power, which I'm going to put on Slam. So hopefully I can do some area damage to a whole bunch of them.
Yes. Beat them up. Only takes 7. That's good.
Yeah. Alright, that is the end of Capac's turn. Taunt was a card that used to be on Aleksander, but no longer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the end of his turn. So now it's going to be Inquisitor number 1's turn. I just need to redo the targeting deck. Shuffle. And they're going to target Aleksandra. This is Inquisitor number 1. So they just need to be 4 away. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're just going to advance 1, 2, and shoot 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 spaces rather. There we go. And now they can shoot her. And that will be 3 green die plus 3 base damage. I don't think Capac has anything to intervene in this moment for her, unfortunately. And they roll 2 plus their base damage of 3 is 5, and a star. And a star does nothing. So 5 minus 1 is 4 damage to her. So I'm going to bring down a 5 and take away a 1. So she's at 8 damage.
3 power now, which is good.
And then Inquisitor number 2 is going to take their turn. And they draw Aleksander. And 2 is not in range yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 space diagonally. Now they're in range. And they're just going to roll 3 green die. And that's 2 plus their base damage of 3 minus, so that would be 5 minus 3 is 2 damage plus a loss of armor.
I think I'm going to ignore that attack altogether and hold on to that armor point.
Okay.
I don't need any of these cards, really.
So you choose which 2 you want to... Actually, if you need to discard 2...
I'm going to get rid of my whole hand, basically.
You're getting rid of the whole hand, yeah. Alright, so that's the end of Inquisitor 2's turn. And now we'll see what 3 does. Adina. And Adina is in range, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it needs to go up by 1. So 1 space forward. And they're just going to roll their die. And they roll 3 plus 3 is 6. Minus her 1 is 5 damage to Adina. So she's now at 8 damage. And she has a total health of 14. So she has 6 health left. Okay. And now it is Guardsman number 4's turn. Who's going to challenge that with the highest health? Thank goodness. Which is Capac. So he's just going to move. He's got a movement of how many? 3. Can he get flanking? Yes, he can. So he's going to move through Guardsman 2, beside Capac, and then behind Capac to get flanking. And then he's going to roll 2 green plus 2 red. Which was a total of 3, plus his base damage. Plus his base damage of 1 is 4, plus flanking is a total of 6. So 6 towards Capac minus 3 is 3 damage. So he's now at 15 damage. Let me get rid of the 1s and bring down a 5. But that 6 damage is, 4 damage is also heading towards Aleksandra. She isn't flanked, so she only gets 4 heading her way. Minus 1 is 3 damage to her.
Okay, alright. That's
so
another power.
She'll be at 11 total.
We're right back where we started.
We're right back to where we started.
But on her turn, she'll immediately be able to use leap attack.
She will be, yeah. And it is now her turn. So, were these 5 cards the cards she had when she died?
The 3 are. The 3 that are face up are.
So I would flip those, put them over here, and draw 3 new cards.
Alrighty. Well, when she died, she had 3 cards in her hand, and I'm double clicking them, but nothing's happening. Oh, you know what? I probably need to zoom in a little. Hold on. Nope. Are they locked? No. What am I doing wrong here?
Oh, they have this eye symbol on them. I don't remember what that is. Oh, that's why. Okay, hold on. Drop. They were in my hand or something weird.
Oh. Okay. All right. So those two on the right. Make sure those are in your hand, if you could, for me. And then I'll draw one more.
What was that, sorry?
Yeah, okay, so I have two here. Can I flip these? These two that are left right here, can you drop those out of your hand as well? Thank you.
Pleasure.
All right, what do we got? Now, would it be Aleksander's turn first or Aleksandra? And she goes last, and Aleksander.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it's Aleksander's turn. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
So she had. These are two new cards that you drew already, right? Like those weren't. Those weren't there when she.
All three of those are her cards for her turn.
Gotcha.
When it comes to her activation, she'll have those. Right now, they are nothing for her.
Yeah.
She doesn't get those yet.
But because she was revived,
yep.
It's as if you were activating for the first time ever walking into the scenario. So she'll have 5 cards.
Oh, okay. Then I'll grab the other 2 when it's her turn.
All right. So
all right, but it's Aleksander's turn. He has. Oh, he's got self-preservation apparently. Okay, and then he draws 4 cards. Normally, he would only be able to draw 3, right?
Correct.
But because of his ability, he draws 4.
You got it.
Okay.
Actually, something that I didn't do when Capac was attacked on that last turn was activate his Shield Bash, which assigns 5 damage to an adjacent attacker. And 2 and 4 are attacking him. 2 has 5 damage and 4 has 4 damage. So I'm going to go ahead and assign 5 damage to Guardsman 2 so that he's now at 10 damage. And that will wipe out the power that I have on Shield Bash, unfortunately. And that says assign damage to adjacent attackers, plural. 5 damage to adjacent attackers. What does that
awesome.
mean? Does that mean both of them?
Attackers is plural.
It's plural, but I don't know if that's true or not. So I'm going to just err on this.
Well, okay, so it says adjacent attackers, right?
Yeah.
So did both of those guys attack him recently?
No, the other one attacked Aleksandra. He just is.
So I would say probably the only one that attacked Capac would take that.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I agree.
Okay. And that was what, Guardsman 2?
Yeah, 2. So he's the one that's below Capac.
So he's at 10 hit points, right?
Yeah.
All right, he's at 10 damage. Guardsman 1 is at 14 damage. And what's their health? 18?
18, yeah. So on Aleksandra's turn, Leap only allows her to leap to a nearby target. So that is on the same square, the same quadrant. So for her turn, I would walk down to I would probably walk walk over to 1 diagonally, get right here, so you have flanking, so that you have 3 base damage, and kill 1, and then leap back to here to then be able to try to kill 2. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Now, in the meantime, Aleksander, where is he? Where did I put him?
He's up here.
Oh yeah. Okay, and this guy right here is 1. He's got 4 hit points. I'm not going to touch him right now. However, we might have him weaken the other guy though. do a little bit of damage there. So why don't we put him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to have him flank guardsman number 2 across from Capac.
Like this?
And then just do right here. Yep. Perfect. And then if we just do a regular old attack with the sword, well, we have base damage of 4. Actually, that might kill that guy pretty hardcore.
Well, he does have a defense against physical damage of 2. And you're rolling green die, so you're not rolling magic this time. So he would block some of it. So I mean the potential.
Just a regular attack. Yeah, we'll just do a 3-hit regular attack. Oh, also I think my weakness or whatever card you call that came up. It's the antagonistic. The next hero who activates loses 1 AP. But if it's Aleksandra, she gains 1 AP.
Oh my god.
So Aleksander's got 7 AP now.
That's legit. All right.
Yeah.
Here's his roll. Wow. Okay. Definitely did not kill. Oh, unfortunately.
Ow.
You are doing assigned damage. So you're bypassing his armor. There's only 1 sword there. So you do your base damage of 4, plus 2 for flanking is 6, plus this 1 sword is 7. So you put him 1 away.
Yeah, setting it up for his sister, man. That's awesome.
It honestly couldn't have gone any better.
No, that's great. And that just used 3 out of my 5 AP. I still have 2.
Yeah, you can't attack because you don't have frenzy, but you can do. You could do riposte, for example. Discard 1 to attack with the hero's primary weapon on somebody else. So this card. That's only if you get attacked, because that's on you. The shield icon means when you're hit, you can discard that to make a free attack against them. Same with opportunistic strike. If an adjacent enemy is attack the enemy with this ability. That would enable you to piggyback on my attack.
On your attack. I think I just grabbed one of your cards. Oh no, that was Aleksander's card. Okay. Cool. All right, I think that we will end our turn there then.
Ooh, wow.
Here's the question. Can I move, attack, move?
You cannot.
Okay. Then I will end my turn.
Okay. So, man, that's crazy. Riposte. You get to make a free attack against someone attacking you. Opportunistic strike, you get to make a free attack against somebody that I'm attacking. Flourish, you get to say, I'm not.
Somebody attacks me.
You're going to make them attack their buddy.
And they'll hit their buddy instead.
Dude, those are awesome cards, and they don't cost you.
Aleksander has a very specific combat style, and it's very clear. He's a super opportunistic type of dude.
Yeah, that's legit. I like him.
I do.
All right, Aleksandra's turn.
All right, let me grab 2 more cards here, and then we're gonna get nasty. All right, what do we got? 1, 2, buckle my shoe. We got first aid, and we got adrenaline. Discard 2 to refill this hero's hand and add 1 discarded card to their hand. Ooh. Teamwork? I like that. All right, I think we're going to go with our original plan. We're going to see if... Man, I don't know if Aleksander can kill that guy who's only got 4 health left.
So she is currently in a position to kill number 2 easily, who only has 1 health left.
Okay.
She does a base damage of 1.
Hold on a sec. Oh, hey. All right, so I for something. It sounded like somebody was hurling rocks at my garage. Who was just pulling down the door. Okay.
So you have a couple options because you have Frenzy and you have 7 action points right now.
Yep.
So when you kill somebody, if you read the top line of your character board, you automatically activate, which means any remaining action points and stuff like that are just reset. You don't get to use them. So, for example, if you want to use some of your 7 to stun somebody before you do that, you can throw that rock. You can do that teamwork and give an ally 2 power. And then you still have 3 action points left to make an attack against a guy that you need to give at least 3... You need to roll at least 2 damage against him in order to kill him with your chakram, because you have a base damage of 1, and you're not flanking. You know?
Yep.
And what else? You also have your tranquilizer, your hammer, so you could stun somebody else. Or you could throw that lightning orb if you wish. I mean, so you have a lot of options, but you have action points to use before you try to kill that guy.
Okay, let's use... Interesting. Teamwork, that's 2. Who do you think would benefit right now? Where's Capac on his special?
He needs...
Let's give him those 2 points, because that'll put him within on his next turn. He can potentially do it. Hold on a sec. Hey. I will wrap this up in the next couple of minutes. Then. All right.
Actually, I can sit on this.
No, let me give you your chair back. Okay. Sorry, I'm in my wife's study space for this right now. I'm going to get it back to her in a minute.
No problem.
Let's finish this turn, and then I can switch to a different computer. Okay, so you got your 2 AP, right?
Yep.
And we'll discard that. And I still have 5 AP left. Let's, how many does it take to... 2. All right. So I got 2 attacks. So I should probably just attack this guy who's right here, number 2. So let's do that.
Okay, so 2 green die.
Yep. Oh, fuck.
So there's 2 swords, plus your base damage of 1 is 3. He's going to block 2 of that, and so you cause 1 damage, and so you kill him.
Awesome, okay.
And so that's fantastic. So before you do anything else, your base damage of 1 is now going to be deleted and replaced with a base damage of 3. Did I grab the right one? Yes. So now your base damage is much more. But you also gain a power because you killed somebody. So I'll just put it down here, and you can put it where you want. And now you reset. So you get to draw another card, and you have 6 action points again. And it's a whole new activation.
Excellent. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Sorry, Capac. So, where is the Inquisitor 1? He is at 5, 6, 7 health out of, so he's got 7 damage. His health is, come on, how many show? 15. So he's about halfway there.
Yep.
Leap attack does 2 extra dice, so that would be a total of 4 green dice.
Do you need this right now?
No, I just
Really?
because I said I didn't. My God, I didn't notice it.
I didn't.
I forgot.
Is it rescheduled?
Well, I need to get on that Jane's email to apologize. But you guys can keep playing it later. It's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I apologize. That's a good issue. So I just want to send a formal email.
Okay. All right. Sorry, sweetheart.
Everything all right?
Yeah, I really need to get another laptop.
Well, do you want to just wrap up this turn and then we can call it a night? Because I'm probably going to go make.
Oh no, I mean like in life, I need to buy another laptop. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a loaner from my wife's program, and there was a meeting that we missed, I guess, that popped up on this that I didn't notice, which is unfortunate. And she's using my laptop, but all of her school stuff is on that, so she needs to use that. So really, we need a third laptop for me to be able to do this without causing any hassles. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you were talking about Inquisitor 1. He's right here.
Yeah, so
So the same thing applies. Like, you just rolled 2 damage. You could take out Guardsman 1, because now you have a base damage of 3. So you are already ignoring 2 of his defense. So you're causing 1 damage. He has 4 health left. So you would need to somehow come up with 3 damage. I don't know what your cards are like. Or you can try to get down to Inquisitor 1 and just burn out 3 attacks against him. Like, just go crazy. Because you have 6 action points, and you can leap over there, and your first one has +2 dice, or you can leap over to this guy, and you have +2 dice.
So we should leap on. So I was thinking I could walk over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could walk over to Guardsman 1 and attack him, and then I could do a leap down to Inquisitor 2.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
So why don't we do that? I will use. What do you think? Reckless Assault. I'm not sure. That's 6 red dice, but I guess only double swords and criticals would count on that.
There are no double swords, so you're taking the risk that you're going to hopefully roll a lot of skulls, and only one side has a skull. That's why you get 6 red die.
Fuck that.
Yeah, it's not great in my opinion.
3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, so what if? Can I choose to discard that at any time to gain power?
Yep.
Could I leap twice in 1 turn?
If you
I
have
had sufficient power.
If you have enough action points to make 2 attacks, because leap is
I do.
Leap just gets you there. It's not actually the attack. You are making an attack with your chakram. You're just leaping there, giving you +2 dice.
It says place this hero next to a nearby target and attack with +2 dice.
Right.
I would read that as the attack is part of the leap. No, I guess I could see it the other way too. And attack, and the attack action takes 2.
Yeah, you have to use your chakram, because if you look at leap attack, it doesn't give you what dice do you roll and how many do you get. Yeah. So the attack is actually from your physical weapon.
But I have 6 AP right now, so I could easily do that twice.
Yes, you can.
And a regular attack uses 2. So I could walk over to that guy, attack him, leap down at this guy, and then leap again over to another one.
Yeah, and if you don't kill this guy with your first attack,
you can just second one.
You can just get him with the second one, and then
all right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So put me just below Guardsman 1.
Okay.
And then roll me a regular shot from attack.
All right, here comes 2 green die. So this is with 3 base damage. And unfortunately, I suck at rolling and only got you 1 sword. So that's 4 minus 2. So that enemy has 2 health left. We caused 2 damage.
Gross. Also, assigns 2 damage. Adina is assigned 2 damage.
That's fine.
Lame, but we'll use another action point, 2 action points to try and finish off that guard.
Okay, another regular attack.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You just need to cause 1 damage here, and then it's good. And there's 2, so boom, you got him.
All right, so
Guardsman 1 is dead. That does not trigger a reactivation, though, this time around.
No.
Yeah.
However,
just move this health off and him off the turn order. And then you draw a loot from that. So here's your treasure. Draw to table. And it's this card here if you want to flip that.
flip it. Oh, ruby. 6 gold, very nice.
Dang, all right.
Okay.
That would have been nice if you were playing winter.
Yeah. All right, so my base attack goes up again by 1.
Yeah, it actually jumps to 5, so I'm going to give you a 2 spot to put next to your 3.
Oh, it's 2 per soul.
Yeah.
Oh, now she's... Okay, I get how this works now. Also, I did 1, 2, 3 attacks, right?
You did 1, 2, 3 attacks,
Right.
yep.
So I should gain back 6 health.
So you're at 5 damage, so I'll move the 10 and give you the 5. There you go.
And then I'm going to leap down 1 space and get Inquisitor number 2.
Alright, so you're going to roll 4 green die against him. And now you have a base damage of 5. And this means you have 2. This is the last attack that you have action point wise.
Yep.
3 plus 5 is 8. Minus their physical defense of 1 is 7 damage to him.
And then I regain 2 more hit points, bringing me down to only 8. Grab those.
Yeah, Alexander's dope.
See, this is what I was hoping playing her would be like.
Thank goodness there was a revive from Adina.
I would have been sad if we didn't get to play her at all. It would suck. Oh, that is clearly a Conan reference, the artwork right there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
That's 100% Arnold Schwarzenegger from one of the movies.
Yeah. There's also Diablo references in some of the loot cards too. That's
Nice.
great. Like, break out that scroll of identify.
Yeah. I'm done.
So that was Aleksandra's turn. And she's done?
Yep.
Perfect. So you did get rid of Reckless Assault, right, for power?
I chose not... You know what? Yeah, I will. So I will just keep this power that I was removing.
Yeah. Perfect. You would actually lose just one of them.
One of them. I got it.
Okay. And then Reckless Assault is moved off to the side. Okay. And so now it is any turn order we wish for our 4 heroes. 2 of them are up front, so we could have Aleksandra go first again and see if she can't take care of some Inquisitors or.
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right, so she's now first.
And then she'll be back to full health. So we can probably put Adina further along. Actually, we're missing a token.
Yeah, it's Aleksandra.
Okay.
She is now the taunt at the very beginning.
Fair enough.
Adina, we said, is low health. She is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage of her 14 health.
Oh, yeah.
So she can go in the first 3 here and heal herself up. And at the same time, she can get next to Capac and give him some health because he's at 15 damage. And
Capac should go third. So that he can
shockwave.
And he can move down and try and defend the others. And then we'll leave Aleksander to go last because, that's how he does.
That sounds good.
Perfect. Okay. So you draw up to 5 cards, right? You don't automatically draw 3.
So you had how many cards left?
3.
So you just draw 2.
Yep. Okay. So up to 5.
Yeah.
Claws attacks free effect immediately after effect and adjacent target. Okay, that's cool. Speaking of adjacent targets, I'm gonna move just so it's legit. Why don't we move Aleksandra to the left of Inquisitor 2?
Okay.
So right here. And then we'll have her kind of jump from there. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just do a good old-fashioned smackaroo with her chakrams. So
perfect.
Base damage 5 and 2 green.
2 green, base damage 5. All right. And she got 1 extra sword there, so that's 6 against 1 armor. So that's 5 damage to number 2, who currently now has 12 damage total.
Why don't we throw down Claw for 3?
And roll 1 red?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because happy fun times.
And you get one extra sword there, and that bypasses. That's assigned damage, I think.
Alright, it says, oh no, where'd it go? I flipped it and moved it. Oh, I'm looking at Aleksander's cards. Should be this top one right here. Alright, Claw.
Oh, it's just one. It's just 1 red die, so you get to choose. And because it was only 1 pip, whether it's armor or magic, unfortunately they're going to block it. So it doesn't do anything.
Oh, well, it was worth a try.
It was worth. I mean, it was free, so.
Yeah, and then we'll do a second
attack. Okay.
With the chakrams again.
And I rolled 2 blanks. Frick.
Bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. So that's 5 minus 1 is 4. So they are now at 16 of. Oh, he's dead. He only has 15. He only has 15 health. You killed him. All right. So number 2 is dead.
And I regain. That was 2 attacks, so I'm back to max health, and I start a new activation. Since this is a new round.
Yep, brand new activation. You get 1 power, and you drew a gold coin. I'll bring that 1 power down. I'll just put it right there. There you go.
I got a card called Disembowel. Discard 2. Target soldier or creature has less than half health after the attack is slain. Oh, baby. Okay. So we took out Guardsman 2, and I believe Target Guards Inquisitor 1 has some damage to him already, right? Yeah, Inquisitor 1, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm gonna kill this other Guardsman.
Which one?
I did not move on this activation, so I am gonna move to this square right here and then leap to a nearby enemy, which will be this guy.
Okay.
And I will use Disembowel along with... Actually, hold on. No, I'm just going to walk right up to him. There's no need to leap. Can I walk
that's
that
actually
far?
And that's 5 spaces. Yeah, you can walk that far.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So we're gonna do Disembowel for 2 AP. I'm gonna discard Throw Rock and Inhuman Speed. And then we'll do a Chakram attack for 2 more AP.
And you did not leap attack here, correct?
I did not.
All right, so we're hoping I roll very strongly for you. Because we need 7 damage in order to... So we need to have a total of 8 before he defends against anything. You do 5 at baseline.
Actually, but here's the thing. Disembowel will kill him if he's at less than half health. He's already at half health, so any damage I do to him will immediately kill him.
Oh, this is Inquisitor 1. I wasn't looking at the right person. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you automatically kill him.
Yeah.
Nice.
That.
And that's good, because I rolled 2 stars.
Oh my god. You're killing me, bro.
Wait a minute. So he's not at less than... Oh, now he's less than...
He is.
Yes. So he's dead.
My assigned damage, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, so that guy's gone. Now, what does nearby entail again?
Within the same quadrant.
So I wouldn't be able to leap all the way back to the
suspect. You would not. So you've already moved. So unfortunately, you're at the mercy of not being able to move again. So while you have action points left, you can't get to anybody.
All right. Now I do have some AP. So I would like to use Adrenaline to I don't have enough cards. Okay, I'm done.
All right.
Now that my turn's over, I'm going to switch to my other computer. So I'm going to log out for just a minute, and I'll be back soon.
You got it. And I'm just going to start Adina's turn. All right. So Adina needs 1 more card. Draw the table. And she gets Dash. And she had Burst Healing. Heal all allies for this hero's spirit-based damage. I don't know how to do that. Holy Arrows, Self-Preservation, Minor Shielding, and Dash. So I need something that's going to heal. Well, I'll just do Minor Shielding on myself, because that will protect Adina from the next attack. And there's only 2 enemies left. And Burst Healing is free, so I'm going to move Adina 1 space diagonally, like so. And I'm going to do Burst Healing, which is going to cost me 5 power, so 1 of these. And that will heal Capac and her for 5. So So Adina will get rid of all this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. And Capac for 5. He should have 10 left. Yeah. And then I'm going to do that again. Boom. To heal the last 5 damage on her and 5 damage off of Capac. So he's got 5 left. And then I'm going to use 2 AP I think they count as raised, do they? No. So that's not helpful. First healing, holy arrows, self-preservation, dash. Alright, so I'm just going to use 2 of my action points to put a barrier on myself. So I'll just put marked on Adina, so that we know that she has a barrier. That uses that. And then I'm going to make a attack, like so, against that guy. If I was smart, I would have moved Adina here, because she has a range of 2, and you can go through your allies when attacking enemies. And I still would have been linked, so let's do that, because why not? And then she makes an attack, because she has range 2, denoted by the 2 in the top left of this card. So she's going to roll 3 blue die against this guy. And she gets 3 single swords, plus her base damage of 4, is a total of 7. And they don't have any magical defense, so that's 7 damage to guardsman number 4. Yeah, and he already has 4 damage, so he'll be at 11. So let me just grab a 10 spot, bring that up, and bring 3 ones back down here. So he's at 11 damage. And that ends Adina's turn. And so now it would be Capac's turn. So he's going to activate. Does he have any cards? Yeah, he does have enough cards left, so he'll draw his hand then.
I have return.
Fantastic. Steve is back. So Adina went. She moved 2 spaces to her right to be adjacent to Capac, and then used 10 power to use chain healing twice to heal both of them back to near full health for both of them.
Awesome.
She then used her mace, which has a range of 2, to smack the guardsman for 7 damage because it bypasses. He doesn't have any magical armor, and it's magic damage. So he's now at 11 damage, that guardsman.
Epic.
And then she ended her turn. And she also put barrier on herself, so that if she gets attacked, it won't hurt her.
Good.
Now it's Capac's turn, and he has 6 power. He needs 7 to use Slam, so he's just going to go ahead and discard Resolute, which would give him 2 armor, I think. Or Charge. Charge would do stun. I don't think he needs. And does Charge count as an attack? No, it does not. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I love this. Okay, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
We're gonna discard Resolute for 1 power.
Mm-hmm.
Which gives him 7 power, so he can use Slam.
Yes.
Slam is an X-range cone attack, using a field adjacent to this hero on attack, knockback, and +1 dice. Knockback and +1 dice. So this means he's using his weapon. So his weapon is 2 red dice, but now he has +1 dice, so red dice. And he also gets knockback. If you can't knock somebody back, they get +2 damage. So he can't knock back the guardsman that's adjacent to him, because that would be off the map. So he's going to have a base damage of 3, +2 for knockback is 5,
Yeah.
+3 red die. And red means magic in this sense, because that guy doesn't have any magic armor. And he already has 11 damage, so that would automatically be up to 16 damage, and they have 18 health. So I just need to roll 2 damage on the red die, and he's dead.
Get him.
And there is 2 exactly. So he is dead. I did a slam in this direction, hitting 3 adjacent fields. That was it. And it got this guy.
Just a little bit of overkill there.
Yeah, I just threw this guy up against the wall.
Yep.
And then I draw 1 loot card for that. Draw to hand. Or draw to table, rather. And it's a gold chest with some gold in it. Fantastic. Return to the bottom of the loot deck. Boring. And so that used 3. So that used all my power. So all my power's gone.
No, my power.
My power's gone. So that used 3 action points. And I have a total of 5. And charge requires 3 action points, but it's not an attack. It's just a card. So I'm going to drink self-preservation to gain 2 action points. So now I have a total of 4. And I'm going to use charge, which allows me to move up to 4 fields in a straight line and apply stun to an adjacent target. So let me just get this guy off the turn order. So he's dead. So there's only 1 enemy left. And if I go diagonally, 1, 2, 3, 4, I end up right beside him.
There it is.
And he's adjacent, and he is now stunned. And it was his turn next. So now he doesn't get to take a turn. He just activates, but nothing happens, and now it is Aleksander's turn.
Excellent. Well, let's move him over into flanking position.
Fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm just drawing my cards. Let me zoom in here. Sorry, I was playing on a big screen earlier, and now I'm on Glory of Tarpa. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, nothing to really help yourself make an attack right now.
Nah. But his base attack is still pretty good anyway, so
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I think we're just going to do a bunch of straight stabs.
So you get 3 green, 1 red. You do a base damage of 4 plus 2 for flanking is 6. Plus all these die. But you only get to do that once, because again, he doesn't have frenzy.
I'll use self-preservation, and so I can do it twice. Oh, yeah, you're right. No frenzy. Okay. Well, shit, I'll just do one hopefully awesome attack.
Alright, here comes the roll. And that's 3 plus 6 is 9. Minus 1 is 8 damage to...
Nice.
What's his face? There we go. There's 8 damage. Alright, and now you don't have the ability to do any more attacks or move.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'll discard first aid and anything else worth power here. Nothing. So I'll discard that for 2 power on piercing thrust.
2 power on piercing thrust. Here's 1. Here's 2. It is now Aleksandra's turn.
Oh, it is?
Yep.
Excellent. Well, she's going to walk into this zone and then leap.
Fantastic.
Might as well do that.
Yeah, so we learned that power doesn't carry forward between encounters. So your power would disappear once we go back into flavor text before we get to another encounter. Mm-hmm. Your health would stay the same unless you rest, but your armor would reset. Your souls would disappear, so your base damage would go back to 1.
I figured that would be the case with her because she's supposed to ramp up as the combat goes on.
Yeah.
Okay. So, 5. I'm going to use Glory of Tarpit to increase her base damage by +2 from Alex. Yeah. And then he's going to do an opportunistic strike when she attacks as well.
So she's going to have 6 green die plus another 2. So I'll have to roll another 2 after I roll these 6 to get the total of 8 because she has 2 from leaping.
Yeah. So she... Well, it's the Glory of Tarpit gives her 2 base damage.
Right, but she gets... his opportunistic strike says 4 green die. She gets 2 green die for her chakram, but then she gets another...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Another 2 for leaping.
Got it.
Yeah. So she gets a total of 8 there. That's crazy. Okay.
And then 5, 6, 7 base damage, right?
I'm just going to go on a limb here and say they're dead. All right. So 7 minus 1 is 6. 6 and 8 is 14 damage. How much health do they have?
15.
15. Okay. You need to do 1 damage across 8 dice. There you've done 4, 5, 6, 7. Roll the other 2 that didn't do anything. That you did 9 additional damage. You only needed to do 1.
So we'll call that the double trouble attack.
Yeah.
The twins really synergized pretty well there.
Yeah, 100%. More than
yeah.
More than 10. All right, so that brings us to the back to the campaign book.
Mm-hmm.
So all enemies are slain because we killed Guard Captain Sever. So we go to Q9 on page 18. Q9 on page 18. Short work. With the guards dispatched, Capac directed the party to drag their bodies just inside the catacombs entrance so they would not be discovered by a random patrol or passerby. The twins version of this are a lot more fun, but you won at least. What? We did do the twin. Oh, if they were there individually, I guess. Okay. So each party member gains 10 experience. We draw 2 consumables, which I'm just not going to do right now. We earned the Sever Connection title. Oh, wait. Aren't the consumables on here? Yeah, here we go. Draw the table. Draw the table. So let's see. Because a lot of our people used consumables this round.
Teleportation scroll. Nice.
Actually, both of those are super useful depending on what happens or where we go.
Yeah.
And then R3 on page 20. So page 20, R3 is called Into the Dark. So let's see. Teleportation. We should put that. Adina has one. Capac does not have one.
We should give it to Aleksander because a lot of his abilities are if you're adjacent to this guy or adjacent to that guy, it might be cool to have him be able to move around the table really, really quickly.
Yeah. 100%. And then does he have a bunch of agility? No. Does anybody have a bunch of agility? No.
Okay. What's agility look like?
Agility looks like a paw. 8.
Okay.
Oh no, he does. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
He definitely
He's
should.
got 11.
Yeah, he should get it. Definitely.
What is it?
Let me-
The teleport. Yep.
Yeah. And then the enchant weapon on attack, apply poison. Poison, let me check that again. I looked at this last time, I just can't remember what it was.
Can't remember what it was. Yeah.
No, so the target has -1 speed, so they can't move as far, and -1 base damage. Any healing on the target will remove poison.
Oh, speaking of which, Robert did respond earlier that as of right now, when the vampire heals themselves from lifesteal, it takes care of bleeding and poison.
Aha. We forgot to accommodate bleeding. We put them over here beside people, but didn't actually do anything about it.
Whoops.
Oh well. No one came close to dying except her, anyways.
Right. And then you chain heal to anybody that it would have been applicable to.
Yeah. So that's fine. Thank you, Robert, for clarifying.
Thank you.
And then, what were we just doing? Oh yeah, so potent poison. So I don't really care who this goes on, just somebody that needs a card. Probably Capac, because his purification scroll is useless and he doesn't have anything else next to it.
There you go.
So let me delete that spot and I'll bring that down. Okay. So, into the dark. The party entered the catacombs, carefully descending the crumbling stone staircase with only Adina's torch to light their path. The stairs showed signs of repeated footsteps disturbing the cobwebs and dust, but all appeared to be traveling downward. No one who has entered the catacombs of late has yet returned. When the party reached the last step, Capac took the lead, peering into the darkness for any sign of movement. "The dead do not rest here," he said, without explanation. He then entered the large room at the base of the stairs, and the party followed. Adina walked along the left wall, shining light on the reliefs carved into the stone. They were untouched from the days of Tarpit before the vampires, depicting the royal families of generations past. Good people prayed for their loved ones here. They are all with Yedra now. Adina closed her eyes and thought of the Patra thralls and how they were denied everything, even death. Capac and Adina entered the doorway leading further into the catacombs, walking shoulder to shoulder. They and the party walked for several minutes, passing dozens of sealed vaults, until their progress was blocked by a collapsed tunnel. A large wooden support beam rested atop a pile of fallen dirt and stone, blocking their path. With enough strength, it may be possible to lift the beam high enough to provide a small opening for the party to crawl through. Or, even touching the beam might break loose more rock and add new occupants to the old catacombs. Alternatively, there appears to be an antechamber to the left that may lead around the collapsed area. So, the catacombs are full of dead people. There's a collapsed tunnel you might be able to fix with a strength test, at your peril, or an antechamber that might lead around. Do you try your luck with the antechamber? Or do you attempt to move the beam and clear a path through the collapsed tunnel?
I like to explore every room when I'm going through a dungeon.
Completionist. Okay. So Capac has a strength of an 11, and he would need a total of 22 to lift this, but he gets +3 to all strength tests. So that would be 14, and he would only require 8 or better to move this out of the way. So basically we have a third chance of success. And you already stated that you are a completionist, so you have 2 votes, I guess, then, to go to the antechamber.
What do you want to do?
I have seen all paths, so I do not care.
Okay. Yeah, let's go to the antechamber. That sounds fun.
Antechamber. So we go to R5 on page 21. R5, the Knight's Tomb. The antechamber turned out to be merely an entryway, opening into a massive rectangular room. Shelves are carved into the side of every wall from floor to ceiling, each holding the remains of a knight of Tarpit. You're in the Knight's Tomb. Got it. Here comes the perception check. So the whole party needs to try to get a perception check of 22. Adina only has a perception of 4. She can't roll enough. Capac has 4. Can't roll enough. Aleksandra 3 can't roll enough, and Aleksander 4 can't roll enough. So we automatically fail.
That's rough.
Yep. So I think basically we need Vanessa in order to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So then we go to continue. So the party cautiously made their way through the knight's tomb. Capac became increasingly nervous as they walked, finally flinching when his unease peaked. He looked frantically around, but the darkness blinded his eyes to what his mind knew to be true. He readied his weapon, but was too late. The party was surrounded. A group of undead warriors had emerged from the shelves in front and behind, ready to strike. The Makati have initiative. Fight! And then we turn to page 22, and we have a encounter.
We got ambushed? Oh no!
We got ambushed, and so this is a 3-tile room that has 4 quadrants across those 3. The objectives is to slay all enemies. This has numerous special effects. So if you watched a stream from the other day, you would have seen us perhaps do a room with fountains. Did you see that?
Yeah, I started watching it and caught a little bit of your explanation about how the fountains work.
Yep, so the fountains are to help mitigate damage from darts and potentially heal us. No, sorry, not heal us, just not take damage at the end of a round. But it runs the risk of healing the enemies if we decide to do that. And really only Adina has a good chance of not screwing that up. But that's basically this encounter. And being next to a fountain also gives us power. So there's a lot of advantages to hunkering down around one or near one to get to it if we need it. That being said, this is a big fight. So what I think I'll do is actually end here this evening with you. Do want to spend some time with the wife before work again tomorrow. But I can save this on the VORPAL system such that I just click it, we log in, and everything is here as we left it.
Perfect.
So if you want to pick this up at another date, I am happy to do so.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Perfect, man. I look forward to it. I'm off, kind of like I'm shift work. I'm kind of like 3 on, 3 off, 2 on, 2 off, 3 on, that sort of thing. So I'm off all the time.
I work Saturday and Sunday and Wednesday, and then I might work Thursday. I might not. Depends how I feel that week. So
you have some time off early next week, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Let me stop the live stream quickly and just check my phone.